Hey y'all, Rowan here. I just got done filming my introduction video to the capsule card collection thing that I'm doing here with my Emo Kid capsule collection. And I thought I would go ahead and play with some of these cards today before I put them away. So I think I would like most to show off the Tarot as Vampires, as rumor on the street is that this deck is going out of print, and so I want people to be able to snatch it up while they still have the chance. So we're going to put the Wild Unknown archetypes and the Bianco, or the Wild Unknown Tarot and the Bianco Nero Tarot away, and we're going to be working with these 4 decks today. All right, let me continue talking while I put this away. So if you missed my last video, I'm going to link it below so that you can go back and watch it. It's not a long one. It just sort of goes over each of these decks and why I've picked them, what they bring to the table. If you're doing your own capsule collection, please share. Like, if you felt inspired to do this in any way, shape, or form, I would love to see your videos. So please go ahead and use the hashtag that whatever's in the title of this video. I don't know what I'm going to pick. I'm going to have to do some research to make sure I don't step on anyone else's toes, of course. I don't want to repeat or steal someone else's hashtag. So feel free to join in on the fun. If anyone has already made videos to this, I would not know. Like I said, I'm filming this right after the original one, but if someone has, oh wow, that's so cool. Oh my god. If nobody has, that's okay too. I'm just proud that anyone watches it all. All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to use all of these cards in a spread, and I do have something in mind already. So we're going to start. Let me get these out of the way one at a time. We're going to start with just these 2 decks, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 6 card tableau where we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 tarot, and then 1, 2 Citadel cards in the middle. And this is just going to be a general reading. It can be for the collective. It can be a fun little story that the tarot wants to tell me. It can be a message for me, although if it is, I ask that it not be anything too personal, since this is for the greater internet. I do like to keep my personal life relatively private, but if it is something for me and it is highly personal, y'all will never know it. Let me just put it that way, okay? That'll be between me and myself and my journal after we get done making this video. So anyways, to start with, I like to shuffle my deck a billion times. It makes me feel good. So, general reading for the collective, or perhaps just a fun story the tarot thinks that the collective would like to hear or needs to hear. Let's go with that. A story that the collective can benefit from hearing. A story, ooh, I'm not going to count that. That was half of the deck. A story the collective can benefit from hearing. We want 4 cards, no more than 4 cards. A story the collective can benefit from hearing. Let's go 1. Let's go 2, 3, and 4. Alrighty. And then we're going to take our Citadel archetypes, give them a shuffle. Can we please get a story that we think the collective would benefit from hearing? A story the collective would benefit from hearing. 2 supporting archetypes that help to tell this story. 2 supporting archetypes that help to tell this story. Let's go. Oh, okay. 1, 2. All right. Then I want a motivic archetype for this story. So this is something that's going to come up time and time again, and that our protagonist, our audience, would do well to learn multiple lessons from, okay? And, oh, bumping the camera. Sorry if we got off kilter there. Finally, we're going to pull from the Symbols Oracle, and this is going to be so if our archetype is an if our archetype comes through as a motif that expresses itself in different ways and teaches different lessons every time it's brought up, we're going to tap into our symbol for a theme that we can derive from that motif, from the different aspects and representations of that motif in our story. So let's get a card for our theme. There we go. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and set aside those two cards. We're going to start here with the basics of our story. So we will start up here. Our first row, we have the Empress, the Mascherati. I don't think I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it's Italian, I'm sure. The Star. We have the Seven of Scepters, we have the Sailor, and we have Justice. That's really interesting because I did this as an exercise with just myself, and I got the Sailor in that exercise as well. Alrighty, so the Empress, the Star, and Justice. We've got a lot of major players here, so this really is a big story we've got going on. This card is all about the face that we put on to protect our true selves from being seen. This card is all about the part of your soul that aches to find new shores. So there's definitely this idea of trickery and wanderlust, perhaps an escape needs to be made. We get the Seven of Scepters here, which indicates that perhaps our protagonist is somebody who is dealing with an injustice, especially because we've got this card over here, an injustice that they have to right, and they have to stand firm against other people who go up against them. Perhaps they stand firm against the law, but they are backed by either a goddess or a mother figure who has been wronged here. And we've got the Star indicating healing. So perhaps, all right, let's go a little closer. Before we start making any statements about what our story definitely is, let's take a look at what our motif is going to be. Oh, the unseen. Maybe it's a ghost story. Okay, I'm liking this idea. So we've got a ghost story now. And our theme is divinity. Oh, that works well. Okay, so unseen, divinity, and the Empress. Okay, so we're moving away. We're going to go ahead and move away from the idea that we have a, we're going to move away from the idea that this is a mother, and instead this is going to be a quasi-divine queen in our story. Okay, so I'm thinking that we are in a, medieval fantasy world, as these cards would suggest, mostly because then we can get a divine ghost story really easily, I think. And there is an aspect of our main character who perhaps, let me think here, perhaps our main character has some sort of quasi-psychic power that allows them to know things, and so they know that an injustice has been committed. They hear, let's say they hear goddess, okay? They hear a voice that claims to be goddess, and at first they think that they're crazy. But as the story progresses, they find that goddess does not stray and does not lead them wrong, and instead helps them to, let's say, find healing in a situation, have hope in a situation, promises them things that come true, etc. And goddess tells them of this injustice that has been committed against one of her children. And then our character has to go and explore the ways in which they are being false when they communicate with other people, because now they have to communicate with ghosts and with goddess, and they can't hide themselves. They realize that they spend a lot of time lying and pretending that they don't notice the things that they do notice, and so they start to tap into their own psychic gifts, right? Our main character realizes that they are a medium, perhaps, or that they are capable of some sort of power, some sort of execution of power. Seven of Scepters says that they have to go forward and meet with justice to try to right this wrong. We get the Sailor here, new influences and wanderlust. I do think that these keywords, new influences and wanderlust, can stand on their own, and the Sailor can be a separate character altogether, perhaps the character who was wronged. Maybe this character is an unsavory force in the local village and is not believed by the townspeople to have been actually wronged in this way. And so our main character, in their constant lies to hide their abilities, gets entangled in the same sort of unsavory things that our Sailor is entangled with, perhaps. So these are our two characters that we've got going here. And then we also have the Empress, the Unseen, and Justice. Meanwhile, the Star and the Seven of Scepters are the things that have to happen in our story. The overall message here is going to be that all of our characters are capable of divinity. So some ways we might see that unfold in our story is perhaps the Sailor learns to tap into the skills of the Masquerari, learns to have the abilities to commune with divinity as well, despite not having any psychic abilities or inclinations up until this point. Perhaps they just need to learn from our naturally gifted character, and it's just a learned skill for this character, and in the end they're able to commune with Goddess as well, and Goddess congratulates them on becoming a better person throughout their life or whatever. I would of course make this gay. They would both be boys or girls, and they would both kiss at the end. Or hold hands and look deeply into each other's eyes, but quite frankly, I don't think we get enough of gays tonguing on television these days, so that would be the way I would play that out, right? Cool! So yeah, that is how I would use all of these decks together to tell a story. If I had to, okay, let's get serious here. Instead of telling a nice fictional story, how would these interact with each other on a fundamental level if I were giving a reading with them? Okay, like let's say we have all the same cards, but instead of telling a story, I want to give a reading to someone. For starters, you're hiding something. You're lying to yourself about something about yourself. And I think this has to do with some mother issues. You didn't feel nurtured enough. Maybe you had a childhood of neglect, and mother, maybe she was trying to be there for you, but because she was financially the only person responsible for you, maybe she worked too hard to really be around, or maybe she was negligent because she was too busy chasing a husband. Maybe she had too many kids and you felt like you didn't get enough attention out of the bunch. Who knows? But there's some issues with mom, right? And there's some opportunity for unmasking and pursuing healing, but it's going to get worse before it gets better. You have to stay the high road because, quite frankly, you are the one who is going to be able to, help yourself, and it's going to feel like people are against you, but in reality, what you're up against is your own inner demons in this battle, and you're up against your own past and your history and your mommy trauma. And I don't mean to belittle it when I say mommy trauma. I say it that way because, like, we say daddy issues. Why can't we say mommy trauma? So, like, the ultimate goal here is that you want someone to be held accountable for the way that you were when you were for the way that you were wronged when you were a child. But perhaps it's not about accountability. Perhaps it is about recognizing that you can give it to God and move forward with your life. There are opportunities for new influences to change the way you interact with the world. And if you can tap into removing the mask energy and tap into having that sailor's mindset, every day is a voyage that you start anew. Every day is a journey that you take. And the goal of the journey is the journey itself kind of energy. You'll be able to have that connection. You don't have to have a mother who loves you, because ultimately the divine loves you, and the divine, even if you don't believe in God, you have to admit that humankind as a whole has some sort of maybe not collective consciousness, but a collective energy that any species has as a collective. Bees, ants, and other hive minds portray this collective energy in an obvious way. Like, their divinity is very clear to us. Like, a bee's divine emanation would be the queen bee, and an ant's divine emanation would be the queen ant, and a human's divine emanation is the totality of humankind. And so if you can serve that higher divinity through serving yourself, you're going to find that it doesn't matter that things weren't quite right with your mother. Maybe she did the best that she could, maybe she didn't. Maybe you deserve justice, maybe you're never going to get it. But ultimately, there are parts of you that you are not honoring right now, and it's more important that you honor those aspects of yourself, pursue your goals and dreams for the sake of yourself, and that's where you're going to really find these opportunities for healing and for reassessing what lights your fire. Okay? Okay, thank you for hanging out. I hope this was fun. Let me know if you do any videos like this. Please tag me in them. Please comment down below if you would, if you do this spread and you have any fun stories about it. Would love to hear that. If you put together a capsule collection based on the emo kid theme, please, I want to see it. I want to see it so bad. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you find me entertaining. Go to my channel and watch some more of my videos. I do have an oracle deck that I made. That video is like on the homepage of my channel. You can't miss it, I'm pretty sure. So thanks for hanging out. Mwah, love you. Bye.